Meeting to order at 5:01 p.m. Please be advised that FATV is conducting audio and video recording of this meeting for a public broadcast. I ask that anyone else in the audience who is recording this meeting to please identify themselves by standing and stating their name and city of residence. Seeing none, I ask that at this time that all electronic devices be placed into silent mode. The Fitchburg Cultural Council is a public entity. We are part of the Massachusetts Cultural Council, serving as the local cultural council, or LCC. Our mission here is to elevate the rich cultural life in Fitchburg, and our members are appointed by the mayor of City of Fitchburg. We all serve as volunteers, and we are always looking for new members. Feel free to talk to any one of us to learn more about how you can get involved. You may also email us with your interest at fitchburg.mcc@gmail.com. Councilors present at tonight's meeting are Tamar Russell-Brown, Liz Murphy, our treasurer, Joe Bowen, myself, the chair. To my left, Catherine Healy, and Shara Osgood, our treasurer. Not our treasurer, our secretary. Apologies. We open every meeting with public comment. If there is anyone in the audience that wishes to speak, please step up to the podium, state your name, city of residence, and the agenda item which you'd like to speak for not more than 2 minutes. And seeing none, do we still have nobody online, FATV? Okay, great. We have no members on the public on Zoom. So I'd like to move to just review the agenda real quick. We will be covering new members. We'll have some grant updates. We have some votes on 2 grant applications. We'll be voting on the treasurer's report, which will also include an expense reimbursement. And we will vote on our council priorities and guidelines for the FY25 grant cycle. So we'll start with the new members update. First, I just want to have an announcement about how we bring on new members. As councilors are aware, appointments to the Fitchburg Cultural Council are made by the mayor, and we have always encouraged interested individuals to attend our meetings and meet with one of us to get an understanding of their commitment. The process to receive an appointment has always been to email the mayor directly with a request to join along with a current resume. The Fitchburg Cultural Council vote to recommend the potential appointees was a formality that is not necessary and has prolonged the appointment process. However, the mayor wants to be sure that her appointees have had at least attended a meeting or 2 and met with an FCC member or members to understand and be prepared to commit to the requirements of the position before she considers that person for appointment. I believe this will serve to bring on new members faster and look forward to working this way going forward. This evening, we're pleased to welcome 2 interested candidates for the Cultural Council tonight. We have Mike Amadeo, who has recently contacted me regarding joining us, and we have met to review the commitments of the role, and he's already submitted his interest to the mayor's office. I have invited him here to introduce himself to the council and to allow us to ask any questions. And Mike, if you don't mind, I would love to have you to come up to the podium to say hello.
Live? Yes.
You're on.
Okay. Let's see. I'm Mike Amadeo. Hi, Shara. Hi, Catherine. Hi, Joe, Liz, Tamar. Did I get that right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Quick bio. I grew up in the Cape Cod. It's actually quite an artistic environment. My parents are both artists and writers. I went to school in the Boston area. I got a degree in economics, and then spent the next 45 years in the software development business. I also kept my fingers in my own creative projects, music and writing and woodworking. And I kind of kept doing that while I was working full-time. I hope to actually retire from my full-time job this fall, in a matter of weeks, actually, if things go as planned. And I hope to spend even more time on my creative endeavors. I guess I've only been in Fitchburg 4 years now, and just kind of perusing what's going on in the landscape of activity. This immediately caught my eye, and I feel like my background in business and the arts kind of would help me contribute in a meaningful way to the city. I've never done any civic sort of activity, so it's kind of a new thing for me. But again, I feel like it's something that I could offer some of my experience and skills to. I think that's about it. Any questions? Can I answer questions?
Thank you, Mike. Tamar?
Just curious why this particular council is of interest to you.
What's that? Sorry.
I'm curious why this particular council is of interest to you.
Because I guess it seems to be most closely related to the activities of the arts community in Fitchburg. Maybe I'm naive in thinking it might be one of the lesser political groups operating. Yeah, I think it's just, given my own interests as an artist, it seems like the perfect avenue to keep in touch with what's going on. And again, rather than just commenting on things that are happening around town, it'd be nice to influence them in some small way. I tell myself, nice to.
Thank you.
Yep.
Any other councilors have questions for Mike? No? Okay. Mike, thank you so much for coming.
Okay.
I appreciate it. And I hope you stick around for after the meeting, say hello for a little more.
Sure thing.
Great. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Okay, our next interested person for joining the Fitchburg Cultural Council is Jen Hemingway. She's also contacted me regarding joining us, and we have met to review the commitments of the role, and she's already submitted her interest to the mayor's office. I have invited her here tonight to introduce herself to the council and to allow us to ask her any questions. Come on up, Jen.
Good afternoon. A lot of you know me as Jen. My name is Jennifer Hemingway. I'm an artist in the community. I've lived in the Leominster-Fitchburg area since 2008, came from the Boston area. I've had opportunities to show my work in local galleries, Fitchburg Open Studios, Roslindale Open Studios, galleries on the Cape, and also belong to an artist co-op in Philly. I'm a local cartoonist, poet, abstract artist, and have also worked 30 years in the human service industry. I've worked with diverse populations of people, volunteered at places like Bagley, Boston Alliance for LGBTQ youth, and also served as a DJ at events. Over the years, I have not only worked with adults and youth, but taught preschool for a short time and taught art to adults with disabilities. I also taught these adults how to write artist bios, talk to community members about their work, and prepare for art shows at Worcester Art Museum. My life has always been submerged in the arts as far back as the 90s, living in various cities such as Minneapolis and DC. I've had opportunities to work with and be friends with varying local artists and beyond. I hope to serve the Fitchburg Cultural Council and the community by bringing my diverse experience to the platform. I am currently also studying pre-law at Fitchburg State University beginning this fall, and currently hold a paralegal certification and associate's degree in pre-law from Mount Wachusett Community College. My goal is to bring both my knowledge of the arts and my dedication to the community, as well as knowledge I gain from my studies in law. I hope that you will consider me for this position and vote me in. It would be an honor to serve the council. Thank you.
Thank you, Jen. Are there any councilors who have any questions or comments? Tamar?
No questions, only comments. Jen, we'd love to have you. I've known Jen a long time, as long as I've been here, I think, almost in this area. And she's super committed to the arts, super committed to the community, and I think it'd be a really great step for us and for her to be on the council.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tamar. Anyone else?
Thank you for your interest. And you mentioned Minneapolis.
Yes,
And they have quite a big arts community there as well, right?
they do.
And would you share on what aspect that you were involved, or is there a highlight of that time where you were serving?
Well, Minneapolis is pretty rich in the arts, and as well as music. You have clubs like First Avenue that are downtown that brought in an eclectic group of bands and performance arts to the general public in the Minneapolis area. You also have art galleries, art festivals, etc. And very rich and diverse there. And I basically had my hands in a couple of different projects. I knew a lot of writers, authors, artists in the community who helped me to develop and get my work out there, just beginning as an artist and beginning to publish. I did some comic strips for a while for an international quarterly, and I sold comic books in stores around Minneapolis.
Nice. Sounds amazing, interesting, eclectic. Please join.
It's been very eclectic. Thank you.
Yeah, very nice.
Thank you, Catherine. Anyone else like to speak or ask questions of Jen? Jen, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to the next item on the agenda will be our grant updates. I'd like to briefly address grant modifications and extensions in particular. In reviewing the Mass Cultural Council program guidelines and consulting with the Mass Cultural Council representative that we work with, I've become aware that we have been unnecessarily holding quorum votes on modifications and extension requests. So the guidelines only require 2 members of the council to make the determination and report them at the next council meeting to be recorded in the minutes. If the 2 members involved are unsure whether to approve a request, it would be brought forward for a quorum vote. So with that, I do want to mention that, given the above clarification, obviously you can tell I'm reading. Since our last meeting, Liz and I have met to review and have approved the following grant modification. This would be grant number FY24 LCC 64502.
Can you repeat that? I'm sorry.
Sure thing. It's FY24 LCC 64502. It's entitled Storycraft.
Right. Got it.
And the rest of that title is Mastering the Art of Storytelling and Pitching Workshop. The grantee has been changed to Maria Vasquez. This was requested by the existing grantee, Elsie Margisarica, who had stepped away from her role on that grant. There was an additional grant change that occurred this month, and it was grant number FY24-LCC-68121. Are you good, Sharon?
Yep.
On that? Okay. That is for the Downtown Fitchburg Events Bulletin and Map. There were unforeseen delays and complications to execute this project successfully, and the grantee feels it is best that the funds be added back into the pool for the FY25 grant cycle. They will evaluate the conditions and reapply if it becomes feasible for FY25. And Shara, I have text of all this if there's anything that isn't getting captured.
That's fine.
Okay, moving on to the grant applications. As council members, to be sure we are acting in the most ethical and legal manner possible, we are trained about conflict of interest and open meeting law. In addition, we are required to follow the Mass Cultural Council's program guidelines. It is not unusual that councilors will seek grant funding from the Fitchburg Cultural Council from time to time. This practice is permitted in the Mass Cultural Council's program guidelines. When this occurs, councilors are required to submit conflict of interest statements, and the council member requesting funds must recuse themselves for all votes related to the grant request. During the FY24 grant voting cycle, this was last season, there are 2 grants that I'd like to address tonight. And the 2 grants are FY24 LCC 63473. This is for the Low Park Chalk Art Festival, which the grantee is Shara Osgood. and also FY24 LCC 56680, which is a project called Fitchburg Wellness Initiative, free yoga classes for the city of Fitchburg. And that is, the grantee is Ellen Doust, one of our counselors. Prior to the first voting meeting held in November 2023, all counselors submitted conflict of interest statements, and during the first round of approval voting, each grantee council member recused themselves from their respective grant vote. Recently, it has been reported and confirmed that during the blanket resolution on grant funding vote that was taken during January's meeting, the grantees, our counselors, of the aforementioned applications did not recuse themselves, nor had their grants voted on separately. The Mass Cultural Council had the following statement in response to this matter. We saw that while the local cultural council did address the disclosure issue appropriately at an earlier meeting in November when individual grants were actually approved, the conflict issue was not dealt with in a procedurally correct manner at the January meeting when the amount of the approved grants was voted upon in a blanket resolution. We believe this was an inadvertent error based upon misunderstanding of the requirements, which can be addressed by training, and we note the Fitchburg Cultural Council has been open and forthcoming and willing to address the matter during our inquiries and is taking corrective action to readdress the vote on these grants at an upcoming meeting. That meeting is tonight, by the way. As mentioned, at this time, I will conduct the votes for these two grants. And we will start, I'm going to go out of order and start with FY24 LCC 56680. This would be the grant for Fitchburg Wellness Initiative. In January, we had voted as a council for a grant of $1,407. In order to comply with the guidelines and conflict of interest, I would like to entertain a motion to approve this application for the amount of $1,407.
I'll make that motion.
I have a motion from Liz. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second from Shara. Anyone speaking to the motion? All those in favor? Aye. Okay, that's unanimously approved. We'll move on to the next grant application, which is FY24 LCC 63473. This is for the Low Park Chalk Art Festival in the amount of $1,407. And this is Shara's grant. And Shara, I'll need you to recuse yourself, please. Okay, at this time, I will entertain a motion to approve funding of FY24 LCC 63473 for the Low Park Chalk Art Festival in the amount of $1,407. I have a
Motion to approve.
motion to approve from Tamar. Any seconds?
I second that.
Second from Catherine. Anyone speaking to the motion? Okay, seeing none. All those in favor? Aye. The vote is unanimous. Thank you very much. And Shara can return to the room. Okay, the next item on our agenda is the treasurer's report. And Liz, the floor is yours.
Thank you, President Bowen, Chair Bowen. So in front of you is the July Treasurer's Report. I don't have August listed in here because we're still in August. There was no activity in our local funds. Tamar, I know you had asked about 2 deposits and whether or not we received them. They were deposits related to scholarships, and I believe they were from Enterprise Bank and the Fitchburg Redevelopment Authority. I could find that we had 2 deposits, one in the amount of $500 and one in the amount of $750. I could not see who they were from, and they were April of 2023 and I think the fall of 2022. So I'm not sure if we should follow up together to try to line up those, the timing of that, to see if that makes sense, but we can follow that up. So that is still a question that we need to confirm. I do think the answer is yes, we received them. I just want to confirm that the deposits that we have are actually those two entities. So moving on from our FY22 grant, we did have one new charge that was on July 28th, 2023, and that was for the performance at the public input meeting from Eddie. Oh, excuse me, that was from last year. I apologize. I'm looking at the wrong spot. So that's last year. So we have no new activity in that account. We have no new activity for the month of July in the FY23 grant account. And we had two charges in this current grant cycle, and that was Matthew Dunn in the amount of $293 for LCC 63152. I think the A that's on there is a typo. And then we had a charge of $1,407 to the city of Fitchburg for the holiday lights. That was paid on 7/19 of 2024. And the summary of the balances, I apologize, that still says May. It should say July, is $32,525.47 in total. And that is all of the new activity for the month of July in our treasurers, in our accounts. Does anybody have any questions?
Any councilors have questions for Liz? Okay, is there a motion on the table to approve the treasurer's report?
Motion to approve.
Tamara makes a motion to approve the treasurer's report. Is there a second?
I second the motion.
Catherine is listed as second. Anyone speaking to the motion? All those in favor? Aye. The motion is, the vote is unanimous. Thank you, Liz. There is a second expense to discuss related to the public input meeting from July. We have a receipt that has been turned in by Tamar, who had purchased some refreshments for the attendees at the public input meeting. And it's in the amount of $40.27. And these are funds that would come out of our administrative account. And so I would be interested in entertaining a vote to approve reimbursing Tamar for those expenses.
Happy to make that motion.
Yeah.
Thank you, Liz. Liz has motioned, and Shara is the second to reimburse Tamar for $40.27. Anyone speaking to that motion? Okay, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
That motion carries. Thank you for doing that last month, by the way, Tamar. I know it was a last-minute thing.
Thanks for paying me back.
All right, then the next thing on the agenda is to go over the council priorities and guidelines for the FY25 grant cycle. So we're already gearing up, and this is the vote where we're basically launching the grant cycle that starts on September 1st. And I have emailed all the councilors the draft version of our guidelines, and I can go one of two ways in addressing this. If there are folks who wish to have edits to what was provided, we can go right into those edits and discuss them and then come to a vote on the full document. Or we could try to vote on the full document right now and with no edits. So if there are councilors that were interested in making an edit, you should probably speak up now so we could do that. I see none, so, okay. So what I would like to do, councilors, if this is okay with you, I want to read through the entire grant season priorities and guidelines document for the record so that the public can hear it. And also, at that point, I will seek a motion to approve. Any questions? As long as the lights stay on, we'll be all right. Okay, so for the FY 2025 grant season priorities, I think I had more to say on this before I say this. Let me see. Oh, you know I did, and I didn't bring my.
Come on, Joe.
Do you have the summary document that I had emailed everybody?
Just this
The one where it lists the sources? No, I have that.
Okay.
That's okay. I can look it up real quick. I apologize for the delay, folks.
I can call it up if you need, but yeah, I'm gonna be on my phone too, so.
Because I can put it on the
School then. What's that one?
which one?
I think it was the one that was
I can put it on the large screen for you if you need.
No, I have it. We're good.
You sure?
Yep, thank you. Okay, what I wanted to do is just mention that these guidelines and priorities are collected throughout the course of this year as we are out and talking to members of the public. We have an online survey, we have a paper survey, we do public input meetings, and this year we also had a special session with the art stewards in Fitchburg and invited members of the public to that as well. And so we've collected all this information about what people would like to see us focus our attention on for this coming grant cycle. And what I'm about to read is a culmination of all of that. Okay. All applications and supplemental materials must be submitted online. For special assistance, you can contact the Fitchburg Cultural Council via email at fitchburg.mcc@gmail.com. For additional questions, call the mayor's office at 978-829-1800. Based on feedback collected January through August of 2024, the Fitchburg Cultural Council will encourage all programming opportunities with the priority given to the following. Number one, priority will be given to applicants who live or work in Fitchburg and or who offer programs and presentations that specifically benefit the Fitchburg community. Priority will be given to programs that specifically benefit families, immigrants, LGBTQIA2S+, the formerly incarcerated, veterans, people with disabilities, and people of color. Number two, on the types of programs. Priority will be given to programs that are community-wide programs, examples, festivals, concerts, music programs, theater, visual art, poetry, open mic events, etc., that have a focus on public art and beautification, including artistic contributions to road paving projects, promoting sustainable living, contain creative collaborations that bring communities together through unifying gatherings for all ages, interests, and demographics, are sensory-friendly, and celebrate local history, cultures, and diversity. Number three, publicity. Priority will be given to applicants that describe a marketing plan detailing action steps to promote their program to Fitchburg residents. For example, local newspapers, newsletters, mass mailings, banners, and flyers all around Fitchburg, including Main Street, Mill Street, the library, City Hall, community centers, and the like. And also online via social media, Evite, YouTube, community calendars, official websites, etc. Programs or projects that spread awareness of Fitchburg programs locally and beyond are also encouraged, particularly with early marketing campaigns of greater than 2 weeks, multilingual options, FATV, and podcast advertising. Number four, program location. In-person programs that offer effective, virtual, and accessible options, otherwise called hybrid options, will be prioritized. Virtual programs that collaborate with Fitchburg Access Television and invest in bilingual, especially Spanish, and ASL translators will be prioritized over virtual programs that do not. Our FY25 local guidelines. Requirements. Number one, for out-of-town applicants, if you do not live or work in the city of Fitchburg, you are required to provide a letter of support from a Fitchburg partner. A commitment letter from the venue is required and serves to meet this requirement. Number two, partners and advisors. When you are listing local contributors and partners, please provide names and their qualifications and in what way they will be assisting you. Number 3, virtual programming guidelines. Applicants for virtual programming applications must reside in North Central Massachusetts, or the program must have campaigns promoting specifically to the Fitchburg community. Notes on funding. Funding limits. The Fitchburg Cultural Council may initiate a funding limit on grants to fund as many viable projects as possible. You are encouraged to ask for as much funding as you wish and demonstrate how you will scale back your program in the event it cannot be fully funded. Last year, the highest award was approximately $1,400. If, after granting monies to all viable projects, there are still remaining funds to be dispersed, the council will award additional funds to the priorities that we have just discussed. For funding, we will be issuing funds using the direct grant process. On funding sources, as always, we encourage applicants to seek multiple sources of funding. On your application, you must list all other sources of financial assistance and grants that you have applied for and/or received. If your project will not happen without funding from the Fitchburg Cultural Council, you must let us know. For links to other programs and grants offered by the Mass Cultural Council, you can please visit their website at massculturalcouncil.org/about/programs-A-Z. Under grant trainings, 2 trainings will be conducted. Tuesday, September 10th, and Tuesday, October 1st, from 6 to 7 p.m. at the Fitchburg Library, located at 166 Boulder Drive. Any additional trainings or changes to these dates can be found at the City of Fitchburg's Agenda Center, which is at fitchburgma.gov/agenda center, as well as on our social media sites. Please add our email to your address book, fitchburg.mcc@gmail.com, and let us know if you have any questions. That is the document in its entirety, and the contents of this, with an approved vote from the councilors tonight, will be posted to our online Mass Cultural Council guidelines and priorities section of our application page. Tamara, you have a question? Or would you like to make a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to accept the document as presented.
Thank you, Tamar. We have a motion to accept the document as presented. Is there a second?
I'll second.
I have a second from Shara. Anyone speaking to the motion? Seeing none. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, it passes unanimously. Thank you very much, folks. While I have this opportunity, I don't know if councilors had noticed this yet, but we did receive the amount of our grant awards for this next cycle, and it has come in at the amount of $58,600, which is $2,000 higher than last year. So that's great. We'll have additional funds to disperse to worthy projects. And that was not the final number of what we will have available to grant. We will be discussing that in the month of October. We have to take into account grant funds that have been returned or are not going to be used for whatever reason, and we add that to that number. And I'm looking forward to seeing what those numbers look like. Okay, the last item on the agenda is to talk about upcoming events and announcements. I have a few things, and then I'll open it up for other councilors who wish to say anything. I'm going to reiterate, which was in the document we just approved, was that we will have grant training classes for anyone who's interested in submitting an application for funding this cycle. And this cycle is called the FY25 cycle. We have scheduled them for September 10th and October 1st at 6 p.m. at the Fitchburg Public Library. This will be a great opportunity for you to learn how to apply. You can ask questions. This is probably one of the simplest grant applications you'll ever come across, and if anyone wants to pursue endeavors of filling out grant applications, I would encourage you to come give it a shot. It's really not that difficult, and we'll be happy to guide you through the process. In addition to that, we have our Winter Bazaar, which has been booked for December 7th from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m., and that will be at Fitchburg City Hall. And just looking to my right here, Liz, to make sure that date has not changed since we last spoke.
That date has not changed.
Okay, great. And then I wanted to mention that all Cultural Council funded events are posted on the community calendar, which you can find at fitchburgmass.org, and many of our grantee events are highlighted there, as well as in my weekly radio segment every Friday from 7:30 to 8 a.m. on WPKZ Radio 105.3 FM, 1280 a.m., and streamed live on WPKZstream.com. Any councilors have additional announcements they would like to share? Shara?
I just want to share that the Low Park Chalk Art Festival will be happening on Saturday, September 14th from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. There'll be opportunities to do chalk art on the basketball court. There's flyers at City Hall and Main Street Studios and all over the place. You can also reach out to lowparkchalkart@gmail.com for more info. There'll be food trucks and live music and all kinds of resources and raffles, and it's going to be real fun. So hope people will come.
Thank you, Shara. Anyone else? Liz?
Yeah, just wanted to note for everybody that this Saturday is the third annual River City Rhythm and Rock Fest at Riverfront Park. So that's from 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. It's managed by Coffee Corps and Fitchburg Creative, and it's a day packed with regional and local talent, hip hop, jazz, R&B, rock, local food, craft vendors, a beer garden, a bouncy house, free admission, fun for the whole family. So if you can make it, stop by.
Thank you, Liz. This is the third annual, and it's going to be huge.
I think so.
Yeah. It grows every year, so I'm looking forward to it. Anyone else have any announcements? Seeing none? Okay, I'll accept a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
I have a motion from Liz.
Second.
Second from Tamar. All those in favor? Aye. Thank you very much. Meeting is adjourned at 5:38 p.m.